All right, folks.
Beginning with your memories.
Comcast said that was a great time to do some. Can I skip them? Yes. We're going to do work. So. Wait for people to get back on. Not that really showing some of the cutscenes here, so those coming later. Watch later.
What is it, Alize? Are you all right? Do you still feel under the weather?
Physically, I couldn't be better. Thanks to Kryle's ministrations, I'm already looking forward to our next fight. But seriously, don't you have anything to say about that?
No less impressive than our garments. You've outdone yourself, Tataru.
To give credit where it's due, I had help from a certain fiery pixie who visited me in my dreams. They gave me all the information I needed to get the details just right. For your weapons, though, I needed a lot more help. Thankfully, our favorite heads of state were happy to place their finest craftsmen at my exclusive disposal. Oh, and speaking of the Alliance leaders, they all expressed their unreserved elation at your safe return, and promise to come and see you in person as soon as they can.
They really needn't have gone to such trouble. But we'll be keeping these gifts all the same. Do pass on our gratitude.
I realise we haven't taken up new martial arts, nor have I ever been one to set much store by appearances. But I can't help feeling a certain lack of, I don't know, personal development.
I quite understand. But as you observed, the others had the more pressing need. Rest assured, our turn will come.
If I expend any more ether, I swear I will blink out of existence. I need a bite to eat. Tataru, a cup of tea, if you would be so kind. And something sweet.
By Mistress Kryle's exhausted state, may I assume that the ward has been restored?
Indeed. We succeeded in weaving it anew, albeit at a slightly diminished potency than when I had Becklug's assistance. It is no cause for concern, though. The tower is not easily reached, never mind breached. And even should some few succeed, their presence won't escape my notice.
Excellent. Said duty thus discharged, thou art free to go wheresoever thy fancy taketh thee. Upon which note, hast thou perchance come to a decision? The offer remaineth open.
Well, if you're certain that's what you... I mean, if you think
So yeah, we're gonna go Graha, really.
Right. I accept. Henceforth, I shall count myself a scion of the seventh dawn. Grahatir, at your service. When I was a boy, many long years ago, I yearned to stand tall as the heroes of Eld. But, like a fool seeking to pluck the stars from the heavens, my every attempt to reprise their deeds fell short.
Help! Somebody help! Hippogriffs! Hippogriffs on the rampage! A giant flock of them! Please, we need help!
I could do with a little rampage myself.
What? Now wait just a... Here we go again.
I will join the fray when I've finished my tea.
Thus did the Avatar of Destruction descend, and in her wake leave naught but tears and ash.
And then, one day, an all but forgotten dream from my youth stood before me, in the flesh. So it was that a new adventure began.
The memory of a dying world's end. Night after night. And I thought it but a tired old dream.
I say, I knew that securing the palace would provide your radiance with depressingly little sport, but that you should fall asleep out of boredom. Splendid, truly splendid. And my own preparations, you will be pleased to hear, proceed apace. Oh, yes. They proceed very well indeed. Frighteningly so. And we owe it not least of all to this singularly useful body I chanced to find. With the Populares now all but destroyed, It will be the simplest of tasks to discredit their groundless assertions that I met with a grisly end. And as the very much alive Lord of House Brutus, I have a vast fortune at my disposal. Ah, money, 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 the great motivator. There is simply no better way to move men and expedite plans than with its alluring glint. Would you not agree? But wait, were we not acquainted, you and I? Should our familiarity cause you distress, I beg your forgiveness.
What did you say your name was?
Oh, a dagger through my heart, that my deepest desire should forever remain unfulfilled, to live unrecognized, to die forgotten. Oh. So it goes. Whatever this flesh may have been before, it serves only as a vessel now. And I, faithful Fandaniel, labor only to advance my lord's ambitions. Speaking of which, with the palace in our hands, we may now proceed with the next phase of the plan. But how very odd. Despite all our havoc-wreaking, old Elidibus did not deign to appear. Dare I hope that the last of the unsundered is gone? Imagine it! Bound no more by the shackles of mouldering memories of damnable duty, free at last to live for the moment! Your radiance. But give the word, and I shall go forth and prepare for you your hunting ground.
That which awaited was a fell beast. Ferocious, ravenous, remorseless.
Do as you will. It has been too long, my friend, and insufferably dull in your absence. When you return to me, you will share everything. Every blow will be a story unto itself. Every triumph, every kill. Rest assured, we shall have a fitting stage for our union. Oh yes, to reprise that transcendent moment, I will set this world ablaze. And we shall dance before the pyre.
Ugh.
The beast shall kindle the flames of the apocalypse. Into into its domain shall the hero set forth for the final chapter in the tale of this star.
Graha? Ah, you're back. Tell me, do you think I was excessively familiar earlier in my tone and mannerisms? I thought it'd be better to be familiar than formal if we are to become comrades, but now I worry that I may have detracted from the gratitude and respect I harbor for everyone. Perhaps we might consider it a nod to my regrettable less than humble beginnings? Yes, that will do. Being free to live as one pleases is not without its challenges. In a way, it is easier when I had a mission that consumed my every waking moment. It provided me with a focus, a constant push in a singular direction. By the way, casting spells always so draining? I had quite forgotten what it was like to do without the tower. I rarely felt so exhausted or hungry. Yet, if all I did was bend the bow, I would be limited to use to you and your adventures. So I shall persevere. Actually, whoever I might have been before, I am now a scion, and an inexperienced scion at that. Green initiative, eager to learn how best to contribute to the cause, that he might follow in the footsteps of his inspiration. I have to keep readjusting. It is very warm tonight here. Alright, he's now a trust companion. I'm not too worried about that. Kryl! Alice's quest. Oh, greetings. Come to look in on our friends? Rest assured, everyone is quite well. I've been keeping a close eye on them and have satisfied myself that they are all in fine health. As a matter of fact, they are about to convene in Dawn's Respite to discuss how best to use their pent-up energy. Let us join them, shall we? No, that's not anywhere near Kryl's voice. I can't pull that off.
Well, my friends, now that we have all settled back into our bodies, it is time we resumed our duties in earnest. Let us speak of our plans.
Ever since the Emperor's death, it's been one unsettling rumor after another. I've a mind to pay a visit to Garlemald to ascertain the truth of the matter.
A prudent endeavor. 'Tis of the essence that we establish the full extent of the threat, not least if it should prove that Xenos doth indeed orchestrate events from the shadows. In light of which possibility, I shall accompany thee on thy mission. Be assured that thou shalt find me more a help than a hindrance. Thou requirest another to imbue thine ammunition, dost thou not?
Assuming that's settled, there's something I've been meaning to look into as well.
Welcome back, everyone!
Lise!
You're fine now, right? No more headaches or keeling over?
That's right. We're fighting fit and raring to go.
No more interdimensional travel.
The famous Lise Hext, former scion and hero of the Alamegan resistance.
I don't believe we've met.
Really? It's so easy to assume that all Archons are acquainted. But then I suppose your fields of expertise are rather different.
Grahat here, at your service.
I have read much and more about your exploits, Commander. It is a pleasure to finally make your acquaintance.
Likewise. The others told me all about you.
Do not be so sure. Words scarcely do justice to the vital role he played in our victory in the first. A more dependable comrade one would be hard-pressed to find.
Oh, right. I did glance at the report. But I'd be lying if I said I understood half of it.
It is Lise. Come on now.
Well, that's a lot to take in. Just to be clear, this means we're not heading for another calamity, does it?
Shorn of their unsundered master's leadership, what Ascians remain shall struggle to see their plans to fruition. And though I would ever advise caution, I believe we may rest easy for a time.
I'll take that as a yes. Even so, I don't know what to make of this business about Hydaelyn and Zodiac being primals.
A difficult truth to bear, yes. But at last we understand the nature of our adversary. And if there are no further calamities, neither will there be rejoinings, meaning Zodiac will never regain his full strength. Even so, as the oldest and mightiest of primals, he remains a force to be feared. Though his is a power born of the desire for salvation, we have seen the havoc it may wreak. And it falls to us to ensure that it is never again brought to bear upon this star.
But tell us, Lise, to what do we owe the pleasure of your visit?
What do you mean? Isn't seeing my long-lost comrades reason enough? Alright, there was one other matter. I have a message from the Alliance, and before you ask, yes, it's about the Empire. So, after Emperor Varys' assassination, it seems his cousin Nerva made a bid for the throne. The trouble is, he wasn't the only one with designs on it, and it didn't take long for a civil war to break out. And it's not just in the provinces. Early reports say huge swathes of the Imperial capital have been reduced to rubble. The Alliance will soon convene in Alamigo to decide on a course of action, and we were hoping you'd come along.
Well, as it happens, Urianger and I were just this moment planning a little trip to Garlemald. And we should be grateful for any advice the Alliance can provide on how best to make the most of our visit.
To Alamigo, then.
Why don't you go on without me? There's something I need to look into.
Ah, forgive me. You were just telling us. What is it, if I may ask?
I want to find a way to cure the Tempered.
Of course. You think it may be possible to adapt the treatment you used to help those corrupted by the Sin Eaters?
I'm sorry, a cure for tempering? But that would change everything. Alizé, consider yourself uninvited. Go and find us this cure.
I'll do my best. I was hoping you might join me. Don't worry if not, though. I won't hold it against you if you'd rather attend a stuffy meeting.
I like stuffy meetings. Or what meeting? Lead on. I know which one. What meeting? Lead on.
I knew you'd say yes.
I'll come too.
Oh, I skipped too fast. Sorry. Whee!
Mind? I'm sure they would be glad of your company. Pray, enjoy your time together with your hero.
Got him.
No. That's not... I mean, I simply thought my knowledge might be of some use.
We shall be on our way then. Godspeed.
Drink water. When I set out for Harlech, I think Gabu was always the back of my mind. And having proved that the light corrupted are not lost, I'm convinced the same must be true of the tempered. Similar to those corrupted by the Sin Eaters, the ether of Gabu's soul has been rendered stagnant. And though the root cause is different, perhaps the solution is the same. It is by no means an unreasonable hypothesis, I would say, and it warrants full investigation. If there's even a chance we can save Gabu, we have to try. But however much I'd like to race over to Limpsa to set to work, there is no room for direct recklessness, not when a child's life is at stake. I'm sure Becklug would remind us we still know little and less about the soul, any number of things that could go wrong if we don't exercise due caution. And so, before attempting anything, we should learn all we possibly can about tempering. There's just one problem. Research into the condition has long since ground to a halt, and the combined work of the many scholars involved doesn't exactly amount to a wealth of knowledge. Not of the modern scholars, perhaps, but what of their ancient counterparts? I know the Allegans took a more than passing interest in the subject. And if what we seek is to be founded anywhere, it would surely be at the Aether Chemical Research Facility, where they experimented on primals and their worshippers. Yes? Good thinking. I've never actually been there myself, but I did read the reports on Azizla, which means we'll be needing an airship. You'll be needing an airship? Oh no, Tataro, what do you have? An airship, you say? Meet me at the northern bank of Silvertear Lake. I've got a little surprise for you. Oh, and come prepared to travel. Probably Sid in his ship. Oh, wait. To the lake. Alright, hold on. I give you the Bonanza, the science of very own airship. I built her at the company project and helped with our friends at the Rising Stones, and named her for luck and prosperity. Totaro, this is amazing. We'll be able to fly about anywhere we want. Our garments were impressive enough, but to build an entire airship, I see the analysts did not exaggerate the many talents of the science fabled coin keeper. I also introduced myself as your pilot, except the training didn't quite go as well as I'd hoped, but that's alright because we've hired a capable crew here instead. Ironworks. The Bonanza is equipped with a full complement of mana cutters, by the way, so feel free to use them to get around Azizla. But enough talk, it's time to fly. All aboard. I love Totaro. Alright, we're back here. Honestly, Sid would be jealous of the way that airship flies. Totaro has outdone herself. Anyway, here we are on Azizla, and Alphina's report did not do the scale of this place justice. Well, I mean, it is. Excuse me. This appears to be Helix, which means we stand at the Alpha Quadrant. To the east lies the Beta Quadrant, and... Yes, I believe I have my bearings. Though this is my first time on Azizla, I do have some familiarity with the place thanks to the records in the Crystal Tower. Unless I'm mistaken, this path leads to the Aetherite beyond, which there will be an informational terminal. I suggest we take our search there. I could just go to... I've already been there! Already been here, Raha. And here's the terminal. A moment while I search the archive for reference to tempering. Ah, there we are. Icon corruption and overview. That sounds promising. Indeed, let us see what this report has to say. Confound it. The content appears to have been deleted. What? No? Isn't there something you can do? Not from here, I'm afraid. But it may be that another copy of the report exists elsewhere. Question is, where to look? It says here the report was written by someone named Owen. It is likely that he kept a copy? I would say it's a distinct possibility. Assuming he was a researcher here, he would have had the quarters on the Hemisphere. We can ascertain the details at Hemisphere Control. Let's return to the Bonanza and avail ourselves of the mana cutters. We will need them to reach our destination. I forgot, you already have suitable means of transport, don't you? No need to waste time accompanying us back to the ship then. We'll see you at the Hemisphere. I already have a mana cutter, but I don't need it. Oh, excuse me. The dungeon's right there. If the late Owen did indeed have chambers here, this note will be able to tell us its number. There, from what I recall of the layout, it should be somewhere in the vicinity of... Warning, an evacuation order is presently in effect. Head to the hemisphere. There is not permitted at this time. Foiled again. In all likelihood, the order would have been imposed during the fourth Umbral Calamity, and I doubt it would be lifted in the near future. Angelo was critical, returning to base recharging. Well, surely there must be some other way to gain access, for example? Ere we resort to that, I have an idea. We should send a surge of energy through the yonder control mechanism. It should prompt the system to restart, releasing the locks. As for the suitable energy source, a concentrated lightning shard might suffice. Happily, I seem to recall that they are known to form points of stagnant ether around the continent. You seem to recall? Are you honestly telling me that that was in the records too? I am. A report sent to the capital mentioned that lightning aspected ether was prone to pooling on the continent, resulting in surges and interfered with equipment. A minor detail, I grant you, but in my role as caretaker of the Crystal Tower, there was no such thing as too much elegant knowledge. Besides, my studies help me feel connected to the source, to home. I must have explored this facility 1,000 times in my mind, but to finally stand here with the two of you, 'tis more exhilarating than we can well express. Now then, the lightning shard, if I may, I suggest we split up and search the Beta Quadrant. Oh, beware of the sprites. They are wont to manifest where ether is stagnant. Now you're just showing off, which makes me think that we should make a contest of this. The first to return here with shards wins. What do you say? Nod. Very well, it would be my honor to come third. Hey, at least he acknowledges the fact that that's a possibility. Where's a good spot for those? Over there. Okay, to my north. Actually, almost directly north. Oh my gosh, excuse me. Where is... There it is. Oh, they've changed that. There you are. Bravo! That was quite a show, adventure. Why, the spectacle proved so enthralling that all thoughts of prize slipped my mind. And Daniel? I appear to have forfeited our little race. Congratulations, the lightning shard is yours. Let's see, who are you? Show yourself. Very funny. What? No dramatic entrance? You've changed. You remember that. In my defense, I was caught up in the moment. It isn't every day you meet honest-to-God heroes, after all. Well, the contest continues, so you better hurry back. But one last thing. Thank you for bringing me here. I gotta go around. Oh gosh, excuse me. Oh, actually, I don't know why I'm yawning so bad. It appears Alice had no luck, so victory's yours. Congratulations. Now then, may I have that shard? What is it that makes you so much better at finding things? What do you do that I don't do? That is a question I too have asked myself on numerous occasions. I suspect we could both learn a great deal from Nienda, and not only about the secrets of adventuring, but come, we should attend to our mission. I look for things that glitter. Excellent. The system responded exactly as intended. We now have to access the habit sphere. Only one obstacle remains, the security system within. Should they be triggered, they could make life rather difficult for us. In light of which, pray leave the rest to me. If I am right, my royal blood should allow me to venture unmolested. Assuming this place works like the Crystal Tower, yes, but if it doesn't, you'll be on your own. I want you to promise that you'll get out at the first sign of trouble. I promise. Wish me luck. Well, nothing for us but to sit tight. I'm sure this Owen fellow is very learned, but icon corruption and overview sounds like a studium thesis. We all had to write one. Lest you wonder, mine was about combat applications of ether. I'm nothing if not practical. Alphanos was more philosophical, of course. Political, dare I say it. He chose to write a lengthy discourse on our nation's duty to the world. Controversial subject, to say the least. He asserted that Charlene's knowledge should rightly be used to the protection of all life on the star. In direct opposition to the country's cherished policy of non-intervention, being a leading member of the Forum, our father was not happy. At the time, of course, Alphino was utterly convinced of his view and would cheerfully argue to death with anyone who saw things differently. By which I mean the rows were long. To be fair to him, though, he's since learned to be a little bit more open-minded. But deep down, he still holds fast to that one belief, and I admire him for it. I should have liked to have met young Alfredo. For what it's worth, my thesis concerning the Alagon civilization as depicted in folklore. Oh, you're back. I didn't know you attended the studium. I didn't. A thesis is required to earn my Archon's mark. My peers at the students of Aldessian convinced me to write one with the promise of unfettered access to forbidden tomes. Though I considered it no more than a means to an end at the time, I will admit it was gratifying to have my efforts acknowledged. Good gods, an Archon's thesis. I shudder to imagine the work involved. But enough about that. Is this truly the fruit of your foray? Yes, Owen's archive node. It was waiting for me in his chamber. If a copy of his report still survives, it would be stored in this device. Shall we find out? Sorry. Initializing, scanning for registered user. User not found. To proceed as a guest, please complete biometric authentication. Verifying. Authentication complete. Guest identified as member of the royal family. I am at your most humble service, Your Highness. It never ceases to amuse me. 'Tis but a pity the effect will not last forever. Doga and Une said as much when they granted me this gift, but until such time as it fades, I shall use it gratefully. Search the archive for icon corruption. Searching. One item found, icon corruption, and overview. The report is locked by the author. Please state password. Well, go on then, Your Highness. Tell the nice node of the password. Right, let's see. Glory be to Alec. Long live Emperor Zande. Password incorrect. Please try again. Confound it. Come now. Passwords are invariably short and simple. For instance... Password. My parents did that when my brothers and I were kids and we first got dial-up. That was the password for internet password. So the notion that the password could be something so inane would be laughable or not so dangerously stupid. Furthermore, your conduct in the presence of His Highness is grossly inappropriate. Know your place, handmaiden. Ow. What did this thing just call me? Call Alice a handmaiden. I love that. I don't know if it makes a difference. Let's go Wild Rose. Alright. Be warned, any further inappropriate behavior in the presence of His Highness will not be tolerated. Alright, that's it. I say we dismantle it and manually extract what we need. Now, let's not be too hasty. A single misstep and we risk losing the report altogether. I believe this may be a task for Sid and his colleagues. If anyone can coax Machina into cooperating, it is them. Come, let us bear this note back to the Rising Stones. We're going to go money. Goraha? Alright. I should probably mention that I have yet to meet Sid since waking up. Ramboros did send word to the Ironworks, but it appears our friend has been afield on urgent business. Nevertheless, I assure you, my proposal to seek his help has no pretext. However much I might look forward to seeing him again, him and everyone else, but come, let's be on our way. Look at him, all but running. How sweet. Still, it wouldn't do to keep him waiting, shall we? One second, guys. Alright, you might hear a buzz. I turned on the window fan behind me. So I got the fan on the desk and the fan behind me, bringing some of the cooler air into the office. You might hear a buzz. I do apologize for that. Although, actually, let me do this. We're gonna do a quick break. I do need to get a munchie. I'm getting kind of on the hungry side. So, let's take a quick break. And I will be right back after I go grab a quick bite to eat. So, for everybody else, go ahead and get up, stretch, move around, get something to eat, you know, the whole kit and caboodle. So I'll be right back, guys. Okay, we're back. Sorry, I need to get something to munch on. Hungrier than I thought. Alright, move on. Go for a little bit longer. Wonderful news. Totaro contacted Sid on our behalf, and he is on his way here even as we speak. While we wait, I should like very much to hear what transpired at the Alliance Council. Would you be so kind, Cryo? As you know, the meeting was convened to discuss how best to respond to the recent events in Garlemald. According to intelligence from our Doman allies, the War of Succession rages on, and the Empire remains without a leader. Amidst the chaos, the Imperial legions in the province have begun to move independently of the motherland. Our greatest concern to us is the third, a legion aligned with Nord Nerva. It appears they have received substantial financial backing from House Brutus. Brutus. Aren't they the ones who took Yotsu and Asahi? Their bodies? Well, this bodes. Xenos movements, meanwhile, remain shrouded in mystery. We're hoping that Thanker Urianger will be able to shed some light on his activities when they return. Maybe shed light, who knows? Until such time as they do, the Allied leaders feel it would be unwise to interfere in the conflict, and so, thanks to in part to the Imperial withdrawal from the Gimlet, they have decided to turn their attention to the primal problem once more. Working with friendly factions among the beast tribes, they hope to reopen dialogue and explore new avenues for peace. Given the timing, I suspect they wish to put their respective houses in order ahead of the decision to clash with the Empire. Whatever their intent is not a problem easily solved. The Lominsons in particular struggle in their effort, and Alphino and Y'shtola have been called upon to aid them. So long as we're dealing with the Tempered, I'm afraid no amount of dialogue will avail us. But if we can develop a treatment for tempering, then anything is possible. Which is why we must succeed. And on that cheery note, why not make yourselves comfortable in Dawn's Respite? I'll show Sid in as soon as he arrives. Sid! Forgive us for not coming to see you sooner, my friend. As you may have heard, we've had our hands full. In our defense, you are up rather early. I was under the impression you'd be slumbering a while longer. I would have been, had you not fulfilled your promise. I still struggle with that idea. From where I stand, the secrets of traversing time and space seem exactly as unfathomable as they ever did. But if an alternative version of myself has already laid them bare, I dare say that frees me up to concentrate on other endeavors. Speaking of which, you wanted my help with something? What is it? Well, a treatment for tempering. Whoop, I skipped that too fast. Just so, with nary a clue to guide us, we could be here forever and still not guess correctly, and thus we turn to you. Well, I'd love to say we could help you, so I will. Once suitably configured, a Magitech terminal could make short work of identifying the password. I knew I could rely on you. Now, anticipating that it might be of use, I took the liberty of borrowing a tombstone from Rambros. It contains an Allegon dictionary. Science is draining, sorry. Good thinking. I'll transfer the information to a terminal and set it to work right away. Looks like it's finished. Let's see. Freedom. The password is freedom. Short and simple, just like I said. Would you care to do the honors, Your Highness? I would, milady. Node, open the report title, icon, corruption, and overview. Password, freedom. Opening report. This report seeks to provide an overview of the mechanism by which icons corrupt and bind men to their will. The phenomenon we call corruption refers to the altering of ether of the soul. Said ether ordinarily exists in equilibrium, no one element being more prominent than another. But when a subject is exposed to either of an icon, this changes, their soul taking on the properties of the entity in question. By way of an example, exposure to the ether of the fiend Sephiroth would cause the subject's ether to become aligned with the element of earth. As a consequence, the subject would attain heightened affinity with earth aspectic magic, as well as preternatural levels of endurance. Repeated exposure would further enhance these traits, ultimately altering the subject's very flesh. The changes undergone by the subject are not solely attributed to the elemental alignment, however. Further testing has determined that the subject's soul becomes unruly charged, or stagnant during the process. This stagnation of the soul has the effect of diluting the sense of self, rendering the subject vulnerable to the will of the icon, and thoughts of whom come to consume their entire existence. In this manner, do the corrupted become worshippers of the icon, their prayers serving to further empower the entity. Having discerned the mechanism of icon corruption, my colleague and I have set to develop material capable of shielding one from its effects, an endeavor in which we were successful, albeit at great cost. In the course of testing, many of my assistants, good men and women all, fell victim to corruption, and in accordance with protocol, they were summarily put to death. I subsequently submitted a proposal to investigate potential cures for corruption, but it was rejected, deemed non-essential by Lord Amon. Ben Daniel? Though I knew it would be fruitless, I protested the decision, and for my impotence, I have been stripped of rank and title and will shortly be expelled from this facility. In all likelihood, this report will be expunged from the archives. Nonetheless, I record it in hope that one day someone will undertake to do that which I could not. Why? I'm and find a cure for the victims of iconic corruption. End recording. So not even Allergons were able to find a cure, or rather, were not given the chance to do so. One cannot help but wonder what motivated Lord Amon's decision. More importantly, this confirms the stagnation of the soul is indeed the problem, and Angelo can remedy that. True, yet were we simply to reanimate a tempered soul, I fear it would do not but diminish individuals' fanatical faith. Indeed, it may well intensify it. No, we would somehow need to suppress the primal's hold over the subject at the same time, or risk them ever remaining its thrall. So let's see, if we could only make them remember who they were, so there's no point in reviving their souls unless we can also restore their sense of self. We'll do that one. But of course, memory transference. The process has the effect of compartmentalizing memories, separating them into manageable bundles, if you will. By adapting the technique, it may be possible to achieve selective reanimation. That is, limit the effects to only those memories that existed prior to tempering. And tempering works too. Though, thus restoring the sense of self, we could theoretically drown out the incitement of false faith which have come to dominate the individual's thoughts. I think I mumbled that, sorry. I see. The theory seems sound, and our experience treating the light corrupted would help us identify suitable memories for reanimation. But are you confident you can adapt memory transference as required? I seem to recall your attempts to do so while trying to bring us home, culminated in literal bloodletting. They did, and you are right. Despite my best efforts, I could not recreate the mechanism, and I concede that the further clumsy compromise I reached would not provide the basis for a cure. then perhaps it's better we consider another approach. Your doubts are understandable, but this time I believe we have reason to be confident. As you see, nodes such as this were built with the ability to simulate magics, which leads me to believe that it may be capable of performing simulations of transference technique. If so, we would be able to conduct years worth of tests within the space of a few days. In theory, it would be no different from how we identified the password. But it'll take more calculating power, a lot more. I honestly couldn't say whether our equipment would be up to the task. Tell me, Sid, why do you suppose Owen locked his report behind a password? To keep from prying eyes, of course. Why else? Wait. A password that could be guessed by anyone with leisure with a dictionary wouldn't keep it from a person minded to look. No, he wanted his report to be seen by those who strive for freedom. Not unlike the members of a certain distinguished engineering collective. I believe their motto was freedom through technology, or some such. You two, round up as many Magitech terminals as you can find and bring them to the workshop. Right away, Chief. I'm not going to do Wedge's voice. I cannot hit that octave. Things are about to get very busy. Luckily we have you to help, eh? Right, well, Grahatia and I configured the terminals. I want the rest of you to procure supplies. Namely, ceruleum to fuel the terminals and ice shards to keep them cool. The more we have of both, the better. Leave the ice shards to Krile. I'll round up some adventurers and go on a gathering spree. Looks like I'm going ceruleum hunting. In that case, I trust Ninda and Alice with the ceruleum. Here's a promissory note for each of you. Take them to Skysteel Manufacturing in Ishgard and the ceruleum processing plant in Thanlan. The people there will give you what you need. Yours is a well-known face in the Holy See, I believe. If it's all the same to you, I'll head to Thanlan. Alright, where are we going? Korthus. To Ishgard. We will unlock those later. Where am I going? All right. You stand in the Skysteel Manufacturing. What is it you require? So you are after ceruleum. In that case, please present the note to our engineer at the airship landing. He shall be glad to assist you. Ceruleum, you've come to the right man. Fair warning though, the price has shot up on account of the uncertainty of the Empire, so I hope you've got the coin. Well now, primers I know from the ironworks. Don't see many of these. Now that, not that it's a problem, it's as good as gold to me.
My friend! After the disappointment of not seeing you in Alamigo, what good fortune to chance upon you here of all places. As you may have heard, the Allied nations are making a renewed effort to address the primal problem. To that end, have I invited the chieftain of the Vanu to Ishgard, that we might together plot a course. Since the war with the Empire appears to be nearing its conclusion, I would also like to call upon Estinian's lance. Alas, he is, as ever, a difficult man to find. I am informed he recently paid a visit to the Rising Stones. Should he happen to do so again, be sure to pass on my regards, won't you? But tell me, what business brings you to our fair city this day? A cure for tempering. You never cease to amaze me. Until now, our only hope has been prevention, our every failure irrevocable. But this would rewrite the rules of engagement. It could end the cycle of bloodshed. Very well. You shall have all the ceruleum we can provide, and an airship with which to transport it. In this matter, you may count on Ishgard's full support.
I think the distance wise not going very far. You're only going to Mordona. It's not like having to go all the way down to, you know, any of the other major cities. I leave for a couple of days and this is what they do.
Who would have thought ceruleum weighed so much? Serves me right for being stubborn, I suppose. I should have just done what you did and accepted help.
Also helps I know heads of state, so...
Good work, you two. This is all we asked for and more. Quite a lot more, now that I look at it.
Ishgard was helpful.
Lord Emmerich, eh? And entirely by chance. Ha! Some people have all the luck.
We have also succeeded in configuring the terminals, thanks in no small part to our able assistant.
Hey, Grumpy.
It's been a while, hero. You seem surprised to see me. Lest you misunderstand, I've no interest in such things as cures for tempering. But if you mean to achieve that which eluded even the storied Allagans, it seemed plain that you would require my expertise. And so it proved. Is that not right, Garland?
Ask Jessie. She was the one who hired you. All I know is you're an employee of the Ironworks now, so you'll bloody well earn your keep.
That wasn't the only reason I agreed to cooperate. I'm reliably informed that Garland and I are destined to unravel the secrets of travel not only across dimensions, but through time. Doubtless the lion's share of the credit lies with me, 9 parts to Garland's 1. And this research will be a stepping stone to that illustrious achievement.
Very well then. I'll do 1/10 of the work. Just the part that's beyond you.
They keep changing the voice actors.
Whatever you say, Garland.
Right. If everyone's ready, let's begin. All appears to be in order. Now, we just have to wait for it to find us our magic. Why not take this opportunity to put your feet up? This may take a while.
You never get a chance to rest.
Damn it. It's overloading.
Chief! She won't last much longer!
We'll have to shut it down.
Wait! We're close! So very close!
Oh.
Well, this is going swimmingly.
Please, a moment longer. I beg you. There!
The question is, did it save it?
I was able to memorize the magic before it faded. It still needs to be put to the proof, but I believe we have our cure.
It's just as well. She'll never run again.
The fault is mine. I'm sorry.
Don't be. It may fall short of dimension hopping, but a cure for tempering is not to be sniffed at. This, my friend, is a world-changing discovery. One we're proud to have had a hand in. A few Magitech terminals are a pittance to pay.
Thank you.
Well, we've done what we can. The rest is up to you.
Okay, let's go ahead. We'll go ahead and call it tonight, especially we had technical issues with Skyrim and Outer Worlds earlier. Hell, we had technical issues an hour and a half ago. Comcast doing whatever the fudge Comcast was doing. Hence, interrupted the stream. So what we're going to do is we'll go ahead and call it. Schedule plan is as followed. Tomorrow, nothing planned. Friday, don't know, play something. Saturday, currently D&D is planned, so do not expect a stream. If there is, keep an eye on the Discord or the Blue Sky account. If you guys are following, links are in the About Me on the Twitch channel, or if you're on the YouTube channel, they're there as well. But don't expect a stream on Saturday, just because I do have D&D. If D&D is canceled, I will see about streaming. But again, don't hold your breath. Sunday, we're going to get back into Stabby Sundays again with Ezio, continuing Revelations. Monday, I'm going to try. Mondays have been a hell for me this last couple weeks. We'll get in, probably play Riven. But we'll see how things go. Maybe I decide to go in there and do like something like Dyson Sphere or something like that. Tuesday after that, no real plans. And then, of course, Wednesday, a week from today, we'll try Skyrim again. I'm going to hopefully try to do repair setup with Skyrim and all that for next week. And hope to God it doesn't crash like it's been crashing. I don't think it's mods because I only have 5 mods total on there. So, don't know what's going on with Skyrim. So, with that being said, let me find someone we can raid tonight. Here, Wade's on, but he's been out for almost 9 hours. Let's see here. Patrick's been on for an hour and a half, also doing Diablo 4. Oh my. Nana Hugs is doing Vintage Story. See how she's doing. For those who don't know, Vintage Story is a... It's kind of like it used to be like Hytale used to be a Minecraft mod, and they, like Hytale, split it off to be its own game. Now, unlike Minecraft and Hytale, which are fairly easy, Vintage Story is literally a hardcore survival sandbox game. There's a story to it. They're still working on it. I mean, I think they've got 2 out of 12 story blocks completed, as in how the story goes. But it's a post-apocalyptic... It's a hard game. But boy, oh boy, it's a fun game. You will not see me stream it. I will keep that as for myself. So... Well, let me see what else we got on right now. But vintage, if you want to see a good Vintage Story, like one, just how the game works, and of course, like some of the stories can come up, and then modded version, look up Rubik's Raptor. I've had Vintage Story for a couple years now, but look up Rubik's Raptor and about his Vintage Story, well, stories. You can get a pretty good idea what the game is like. So I really recommend looking him up for the story-wise. It's... Here's what we're gonna do. Since she's doing it, I've not rated it yet in a while. We'll do Slushy Ghost, because she's also playing 14. So let's go ahead and we'll raid Slushy. We'll do that. So we're raiding Sushi. If you guys can stick around for the raid, that would be great. If you cannot, no biggies, no worries. You guys go take care of yourselves. But with that, please join me in raiding Slushy. She's a fun one to watch. She's been out for 6.5 hours. She might be getting close to being the end. I don't know with her other stream, but we'll just raid her anyways. So thank you guys for being here. I hope to see you all Friday. You guys have